So we're making progress, aren't we? But as with all these things, progress comes at a price. So is it always forward, or do you have to go back every now and again? So we're here, aren't we? Yeah, building our part run report. And we've kind of gone around a few things. We've taken some shortcuts. Were those valid shortcuts? Have they improved things for us? Or is it now going to come home to roost? So there's a few things that I've wanted to check through. So I've gone in, obviously we've followed through our consultancy's journey. And this is where we're now at the point where we've kind of got some plans. We know what we need to do. How can we then make those happen? Yeah, how can we realize those? So we know what we have to do. We've built our data flows. We've got it from the latest results. We've then unpacked and moved it on. We took that and we replicated it so we could spin it out and have multiple weeks. Okay. And then we did our model yesterday or last week. So what am I now concerned about with the validation? What's the possible issue that we might have? So if we go back and we have a look at our model, we can see some of the issues that might be creeping in or that are creeping in fact. Power BI desktop, where we are, yeah? If we go in and we have a look at the tables that have come through, I realized I'd missed something. I was like, I've missed it. I'm an idiot. I need to go and update it. So I thought I'll update those and have a look. So what I realized I was missing was I haven't actually put the event number in the event data set. So each event needs to say the event number that it is, doesn't it? So that we can then filter and we know these results are from this event. Things like that. Okay, the rest of it I actually really like. It's going really well. We've got that. We've been able to pull out the people part really well. This is a very good way of doing things. So all of those things that I wanted and that I felt I needed to have in this data set are there. They are working. Okay, I've got some anomalies that are concerning me, like this athlete number here. So those are things that I would normally be looking to get with the validation that we do. We go, we need to find these things. And we can see we've got a small number of them where we've not quite had it split correctly. So the delimiter split isn't necessarily working. And that was part of it. I was like, well, which one's those? What's happening? What's going on? And that's where I was finding, well, hang on, there's other issues. Now, where we are, I could quite quickly and easily go and add the tables in, add the event numbers. And in fact, I did. It didn't take me too long. We've gone through enough. We've looked at it. Again, with the numbers that we've got, it's not a huge task to say, I'm going to go into each of these and add the fixes to it. Okay, so I went through and I future-proofed some stuff as well. So I've changed it to 01. Okay, 001, 005 to 005, because that way we're going to be covered for 20 years. And so within 20 years, I'm hoping we've got a better model for this. I don't think there's even a park. There probably is a parkrun out there that's got more than 1,000 runs, but they're going to be few and far between. Okay, so all I've done in here, if we have a look, I've added a couple of lines of code to it at the bottom. Well, one line actually. I've added a comment or added an event number. So in this, I've added a column, add a custom column, and I've said, just call it the event number, which is the parameter that we use to declare this is the event. And that then updates the URL, it pulls the specifics through. So it works. Good, job done. But what I found, and this really surprised me when I found it, right? Because it's working fine in my production side. So I wasn't expecting, this was what I wasn't expecting, right? Was when I looked at the future state ones. So I'd put these in ready to go with the future. One of the things that we would do is we'd come in, let's go into this one as an example. Okay, so these were supposed to be, I was going to update these. Let's put this in as number 37. Okay, so you remember, we'd go in, we'd go to our event number, and we'd put in 37. Okay, now 37 hasn't happened yet, it's in the future. So what should happen is it should go away, it should read in, it should build a table, it should say, oh, table's empty, right? And then carry on. But it was erroring, it was having an error. So we're getting an error. That doesn't make sense, I don't understand. So with column 7, so I'd show the details. What's the problem with column 7? And it was taking me on a long roundabout way of saying it's not sure. So I went back through to find where column 7 exists. But I was like, what's going on? What's going on? And I saw something that isn't in the production steps. And I thought, this does not make sense. Something's not right. Okay, we've got this promote headers piece. So something's happening here where it's generating them, but it's not as the head of a table. So what's going on with that? So I've gone through, scratched my head, compared everything, had them in Notepad, doing all these sorts of things, looking at 2 tables side by side to work out the difference, see what's happened. Right? And I know what's happened, but I can't fully explain it, which is really, or I can't come up with a way of putting it that isn't just, it just doesn't sound right. So in essence, what I did when I built the production set was I didn't start with the latest results. I started with a specific event's results. And then I went through and worked that out and then changed the URL to the latest results. Right? Which is why I thought we'd go the other way around. Work fine. The main thing, the main issue is that in production, when I've connected to the URL, I've picked to do table 2, so it works out a magic table for you. Let me show you. Transform data. We're going to get some data from a web page. Okay, so we're going to go to new source. Okay, connect to a web page. All right, and what we want to do is we want to connect to our latest result. Click OK. Right? Went away, it goes away, it connects to it. Now remember, right? When this did it before, it was creating it and then I needed to promote it. Now what I've found, this is just like really bizarre, right? And I'm honestly, like my head is, it's baked by this bit, is in the production site, I picked table 2 from it. When we're building the latest table, we picked table 1, like the default as it was found. Right? That seems to be the only difference I can find. And looking at the code for it, I mean, and when I'm saying looking at the code, it's not like the easiest to go and do it, and I'm going to have to get something and probably compare it. When you think through, right, here's my production code for it. What we're talking the difference is in this line here. Right, and I hope you can agree that's not the easiest that I'm going to find a big difference in. Okay, so something in there, something's not right. What I've got in here that I want to use as well, and that I haven't pulled through so far, is this whole piece about the volunteer. What's your membership of clubs in terms of your volunteers or your running membership, which if you do parkrun, that's really important, people, really important. So what I was going to do is I needed to pull those through. So I think what I'm going to do, right, and I'll pause the video now and I'll sort it all out, but I'm telling you now why I'm doing it, is I'm going to copy my stuff from production down into the environment that I'm working on with you guys, and then we'll deal with that whole piece and we'll set it all up, and then we can go through and we can do all the jiggery pokery bits and do the validation. But you can see straight away that validation is something you have to do. You can never assume that it's going to be perfect or it's going to be right. I've gone through perfectly logically because I went one way first, and I thought, well, if we start with the latest results with you guys in this session, that'll make the most sense for you, because the 2, I've just changed the URL and it keeps working. That's all it did. Instead, I'd actually start with the actual event results from a particular day. Not an issue. I will fix that all and we can carry on. Champion. All right, so validation has managed to be done properly now, hasn't it? Right? What you can see here is I've gone in and I've actually updated and I did the whole hog. So I've gone in and I've written a function to do each of these. So if you have a look here, you'll see there's a single table that's actually coming back from any of these. One table, pulling it together, it's running as a function. We'll have a look at it because I said we wouldn't look at it straight away. I don't want to look at it. I did say I was going to do it as a surprise at the end, but I thought I'll get it done now. It's in, it's there. We'll have a look at the last week when we get there, but that's how I've ended up doing it, just to make it all done, and then I know I don't have to go in. The last thing, if we have a look back here, we've got this through. I've pulled all the club information in now, as I said. So we've got whether somebody is in the running 10 club, which is like for juniors, under 18s, running 25, 50, 100, all the way up to 500, and the same for the volunteering. So we've got everything is now in, and I know this is all going to work for us. So we'll go in, we'll rebuild, we'll split the people out, we'll get everything sorted, and then next week we'll start putting the relationships in and we'll start rating the DAX measures. So what have you reckoned then? What we saw was what often happens, okay? That you will go ahead, you'll be planning, you'll build, you'll move, you'll get to a point, and suddenly you get to the point where you go, oh, I've got to change it, right? I've lost count the amount of times that I've done that, even with all the best project planning work that we've done or anything like that. You'll find little nuances in the data. Right? That was a completely new one on me where it wasn't reading it as a table beforehand, it was doing something else with it. So, I mean, that's done my head in. I will take the time, I think, and go in and try and work out exactly. I'm going to find that one line or clause within that line to fix it. What I actually did in the end, when we fixed it, was I wrote something. I wrote this, and I'll show it up. I'll put it there somewhere, right? Right? I wrote this. So I broke it down, we went through every column, and I named every column as it was coming through. So it's definitely worth doing. So I've been lazy, really, is what it comes down to. So time and again, that'll come back and haunt you within Power BI, and we'll see it happens regularly. So name your steps. Make sure you know what's going on in each step, right? And that's all part of that validation, isn't it? So, I mean, this week hasn't gone the way I'd wanted it to go. I'll be the first to admit. Okay, I mean, when I started uncovering this, it was annoying, but I thought I need to be upfront. We'll talk about it. We'll move on from this to next week. And it was around the time of doing validation. So I think we can, say that we've learned something. So don't forget, keep staying safe, right? Keep looking after each other, right? Take care. Have a great weekend. Ta-da.